Hmm.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Could you press the unlock button under the screen? I don't have my key on me. I've only got the one I gave you earlier.
With that, Mari-san waved cheerfully at me through the screen in her apartment while I was inside.
You're here. You're actually here, Katahara.
What were you going to do if I wasn't here? Mari-san points her finger at me and laughs delightedly as I greet her from within her own apartment. Her displeasure from when we were back at the editing department forgotten.
Maybe I would have stayed in a hotel and slept alone, or gone out drinking until morning as usual.
I wonder what would have happened if I didn't get the meaning of the key attached to the key holder she gave me back then. No, even if I did realize that she was trying to tell me your girlfriend is waiting for you in the first place, Mari-san wouldn't have been able to enter her apartment tonight, and probably would have spent the rest of the weekend rather miserably. I don't know, a hotel doesn't sound so bad. Yeah, sure, it's not home, but at least someone cleans up the place for you. And in more ways than one. Why did you take such a cryptic risk?
Well, I decided to take the day off tomorrow. Or should I say today? I've properly finished up Suzuki's tasks, you know?
I wasn't asking about that.
Truth is, I was going to text you to come over, but you seemed busy enough texting your girlfriend anyway.
She's not my girlfriend.
If that was really the case, then you wouldn't be here now, would you?
I'm smiling right now, aren't I? Mari-san looks so cute with that innocent smile. An uncontainable feeling is welling up inside me. And yet, right now, I can't come to grips with the reality that I happily accept these feelings. To such a pure smile towards me. That's too careless of you, Mari-san.
I've run around the whole day again. I'm so tired. My legs feel really stiff.
As usual, when we're together, Mari-san flops onto her bed on her back, completely defenseless.
Hey, Kirahara.
You must be hungry, right? I can make something simple right now if you want.
Didn't I say I was tired? That means I don't want to get out of this bed, you know?
Mari-san?
I'm so tired, Kirahara. So, make me feel good. So, make me feel good.
Those charming lips of hers, her seductive words, and those alluring eyes that spoke on their own pierced right through me. As I thoroughly explored her feet, Mari-san's expression changed from one of ecstasy to one of agony. Your feet are really cold, Mari-san. Could you perhaps be sensitive to the cold?
Even if that's the truth, shouldn't the man be considerate and not say things of that nature?
A man is massaging your feet right now, so please stop saying words like considerate. She's laying on her back on the bed, with her stockings pulled off, and as I lift up her well-toned feet, she looks at me with a seductive gaze. I was taken aback the moment Mari-san whined that her feet hurt.
Even though you say that, Kirahara, if you don't relieve the pain now, it'll hurt more later, you know?
Don't you have the day off tomorrow? What do you have to worry about?
Isn't it obvious that it'll be a pain exactly because I have the day off? I had to deal with quite a lot of muscle aches when I was on break the last time.
What do you mean?
Usually, you don't spread or raise your legs like that, you know? Whenever I'm with you, you abuse my muscles that I don't often use. It's unbearable.
Sorry. The expected premise of me being held under an older woman's thumb is suddenly ruined in more ways than one.
I get tired from work, and then I finally get some time off just to be criticized by you. And then I have to go back to work again, even though I'm exhausted. For the limits of a woman's stamina to be tested every day like this, I wouldn't have imagined last year that this would happen. This situation is quite stressful.
The unusual way she says stressful, suppressing a laugh as if to ridicule me, and entrusting her body to me like this. How should I interpret this?
They feel warm now.
Should I keep doing it like this?
Yeah, it's enough.
After the massage that appears to be the main event, I wrap my hands around her slightly cold toes and rub them. Mari-san didn't find the gesture uncomfortable at all from the very beginning, and she lets out a slow exhale as she feels even more pleasure. Just as I thought, Mari-san really is vulnerable in this spot, though I've had that impression from the very beginning. I caress her under the guise of a massage, and while she finds the sensation ticklish, she also has an incredibly satisfied expression. Mari-san?
What?
Can I say something a bit arrogant?
You're always arrogant here anyway. What is it?
Why do you, care about me this much? As both a subordinate and a man.
Well, I hate dummies.
You're way too frank. Maybe it's because of the word subordinate, but Mari-san's speech came out a bit like how it is at work.
When I say dummy, I don't mean in terms of academics or work experience. Those who get into a good university and company but are completely useless are a dime a dozen.
Is it okay for her to make such comments to someone like me, who's still a university student?
What I search for in a partner is someone who knows what I want and agrees with it.
Our conversations should always connect like we're playing catch. Well, did I pass?
You're so bad at it that it's preposterous. Even though you know what I want, you keep playing dumb. And if I notice that and get offended, you'll cut straight into me and make me confused next time.
Mari-san.
You're not even that dumb, but you're still a coward. That makes you even worse. You're conceited for a younger guy.
That's because you overestimate me. All in all, it's not like I became like that on purpose. First attitude she showed me led me on. Along with her unconsciously deep affection, I became unable to control myself. You believed in me. I only tried to live up to that faith. I am left not knowing whether that was right or wrong.
Hey, look at you, trying to deceive me again.
Mari-san's toes and my fingers are intertwined. You've returned my warmth to me, and you've done so much more. Mari-san.
What?
In the end, was there really any deceit involved in her invitation at all? If you look at what always ends up happening, it's meaningless. Being alone together in this room makes it inevitable that things end up flowing like that.
Well, who's present over there right now? You couldn't get Shimada-san? What about our managing editor? Alright, she's in Kyushu. Okay, in any case, I'll head there in 30 minutes. Oh, sorry, could you hook my bra? Just confirm what you need to do. There's no one else.
As I fixed the hook on her back, Mari-san spoke with a speed that my hands could not match. As to why she's holding the phone with her shoulder and putting on stockings at the same time, it's because she's trying to deal with concerns from the editing department simultaneously. And she's dealing with the neighboring department at that.
Yeah. Well then, try to get in contact with the relevant departments until I get there. If possible, I would like you to tell the chief editor too.
After pulling on her stockings up to her thighs, she stood up while still on the phone and pulled them up even further to cover her stout bottom, the part that I just kissed and touched.
Well then. Yeah, don't worry. There's no need to panic. I'll be fine, I promise. I promise I'll make it in time. See ya.
And as she stood up following the end of her phone call, she lightly slapped her face several times and stretched as far as she could.
Thank goodness this came after we finished.
Looking upward, she let out a cry that could be interpreted as one of resentment or relief. It was 4 a.m. Someone seems energetic. I say that even though she was so wild in my arms just a little while ago.
I have to fire myself up for work.
Doesn't an especially big problem like this get your blood pumping? Is that how it is? Her actions, her expressions, and the fact that nothing seems to be impossible for her all attest to her strength and kindness.
Besides, I was able to be with you, even if it was only for a short time. I feel fulfilled in more ways than one.
Mari-san, who was still only wearing her underwear, hugged me tightly as I still sat on her bed. I can detect the scent of Mari-san's skin and sweat, and the slightest hint of my own smell.
Especially, with protein.
Please don't do that again. These jokes of yours sound like they come from an old man.
Do you know how much it hurts me when you say something like that and rub in our age difference?
Girl, you're what, 4, maybe 5 years different? It's not that much. The issue isn't a matter of age, it's a difference in our tastes.
You... That's the worst thing you could say to a woman.
Look, you're in a hurry, right? You should get going if you're going to make it in 30 minutes. I realized that those words of mine just now were exactly as Mari-san had pointed out. I picked out a shirt for her in an attempt to pass the mistake off.
There's a lot that I want to say, but I know that it's my fault this time. So I'll just leave it at that.
Mari-san, it's not really your...
Sorry about this.
I was the one who called you over, but it ended up this way. With her arms through the shirt that I brought out, Mari-san's shoulders dropped just a little. There's nothing you can do. Your work is important after all. It's only natural that you prioritize it.
Aren't you unsatisfied? I thought it would be me taking the lead today. But again, I was the one who was played with, in a good way.
Even if you reflect on it that way, you're only making me really bothered by that.
You don't need to return the key. You can always come back here, or if you want, you can stay here. I can't tell you when I'll be back though.
I'll go home as soon as the first train starts moving. I can't stay in a house without its owner. Even though I slept here for 2 days, there's no helping it.
I guess you really don't have a choice. To think you'd be concerned about such a trivial thing.
Putting on her skirt and adjusting her fastener, Mari-san finally produces her persona from the editing department. Lastly, taking a bottle of perfume, she sprays her neck several times to erase the scent of our affair.
See you. I'm off.
Take care. In a flash, our lips were pressed together, and in an instant, they separated. Even though she went through all the trouble to get rid of my scent, she's got the order of these things completely wrong.
I just had to, I guess.
What do you mean, I guess?
Kissing a man while he's asleep and then heading to work? Like in a josei manga. I thought that'd be too gross.
You read that stuff?
Come on, once you get to where these are really good. Seriously, people can't live without them.
Mari-san. Her expression showed that she was acting a little too strangely. Then again, I'll be off now. Again, take care. And it's making me feel quite pleasant for some reason.
I'm sorry. I have plans for Sunday. I promised Takehiro that I would get him a reference book. As usual, he's such a carefree younger brother, even though he has entrance exams in less than a month. I wonder if he even has the intention of studying properly this year. In any case, that's how it is. So, I'm sorry. Talk to you next time, alright?
I thought I couldn't make it on Saturday, so I tried for Sunday. But it's no good for her on that day. And not only that, but Saturday would have been open for her. Inviting her out today would be strange, so I guess I'll invite her somewhere on a weekday next week. Still, with the way Setsuna and I are right now, I wonder if we are going out of our way to avoid one another. It's probably better that I wait here for Mari-san to return.
Huh? What did you say, Dae-chan? Don't you get the situation I'm in right now?
Come on! I'll treat you to lunch as well. Can't you go out with your older sister every now and then?
Give me a break. Aren't you old enough for this? I have plans to go to prep school on Sunday.
Then, let's go to the university library. It's not particularly crowded, and I can help you study.
I'm telling you, I'm busy. If you have this much free time, then maybe you should go on a date with Kitahara-san instead.
That's just not something I can do right now.
January 24th, Monday. Ri, I'm sorry about that. Oh, Takahiro's about to take the entrance exams, huh? I was convinced that he'd get a recommendation, but tell him I wish him good luck. What university does he want to attend? One of the top universities? Or perhaps a local one? Regardless, please give him my regards and tell him to do his best. It's not like we've taken an entrance exam before, however, so while I can't really give him any concrete advice, I do hope he'll pass on the first attempt. That's why you shouldn't be concerned about what happened yesterday. It's only natural that you would prioritize something so important. Although, I still need to talk to you at some point. Preferably as soon as possible as well. Would like to meet up with you this week. As for my schedule, with the exception of Wednesday, I usually have nothing going on after 5. If possible, I'd like it to be either today or tomorrow. How does sometimes after 5 o'clock sound? I'll wait for your reply. January 25th, Tuesday.
Again, I'm very sorry. As for which one he's aiming for, it's a real surprise. Can you believe he's actually going for Hojo University Public Policy Department? He slacked so much he's been dropped from the recommendation list. I think he placed in the lowest 100 in the middle of the second term. And as the class representative too, you know? That, and we initially thought that it'd be fine if he applied to a different university. But now, he's nagging adamantly about wanting to go to Hojo. My parents are sighing hopelessly about it. He's throwing out his class responsibilities as an excuse for not having the time to properly study. Well, I guess I can't say that he didn't put a lot of effort in for the school festival. Although, after I mentioned a certain valedictorian who managed to graduate at the top of his grade, despite being so dedicated to both the school festival and class responsibilities 3 years ago, he didn't seem to have anything else to say. Any ideas, Mr. Valedictorian? That's why you should have some suggestions to my lackadaisical younger brother. It would be great if you could lecture him as usual. Ah, that reminds me. I'm sorry, I didn't notice my cell phone ran out of battery yesterday. I just saw this text 30 minutes ago, at 11 p.m. on Tuesday. Between today and yesterday, 2 days have already passed. I'm sorry I couldn't reply due to my carelessness. Please change the date again. Well then, good night.
January 26th, Wednesday. Ri, again, I'm very sorry. That's not... Well, tell him to continue to work hard for the time being then. Actually, I too was in pretty bad shape for the final exams after the festival. I guess I'm misunderstood now because I've already gained such a reputation. That's why I get what Takahiro-kun's dealing with, I guess. Being a class representative is really packed with responsibilities, to the point where you'd occasionally want someone to take your place as soon as possible to ease the burden. Well, as for rescheduling the meeting, I'm still open Thursday and Friday after 5. I don't mind a later time either. I'm also free before noon on Friday. If you happen to bump into me on campus, I'm completely okay with talking with you over lunch at a family restaurant or something. I don't mind if it's only for a short time. I just want to meet up with you. And there's something I need to tell you face to face. I understand that I'm being unreasonable here. Even so, I hope you'll reply to me as soon as you can. January 27th, Thursday.
Again, I'm very sorry. It's 1:30 a.m. at the moment. When I walked past my brother's room after taking a bath, what leaked out wasn't light, but the sound of him snoring instead. I really wonder if he'll be alright. What are you up to, Haruki-kun? Well, I can probably guess even without asking. You're preparing for the final exams, aren't you? You've always had the habit of studying 2 weeks before exams, even back when we were in high school after all. No, that's not exactly the most accurate way to put it now, is it? After all, you never seem to be worried before exams, given that you never lack on studying and preparing for classes on a regular basis. As for me, I'm slacking right now like I used to, it seems. That's why I'm having a studying meeting with my friends after lectures are over. It's something that we're calling a copy meeting. Everyone's going to be bringing their own notes, and we'll be meeting up at the photocopy shop quite a distance away from the university. We were thinking about sorting our materials and having a study meeting afterward. We don't really know when we'll finish. Even so, and I know that I have to apologize again, but I've yet to work out my plans for Thursday, let alone Friday. I'll text you after I properly organize my schedule. I'm really sorry for flaking on you.
January 28th, Friday. Again, I'm very sorry. It's just that I shouldn't have been saying those things despite knowing that we're preparing for exams. After all, it's finals we're talking about here. So it's a life or death situation for most people who want to advance to their 4th year. Well, I know you won't end up in a state like that though, Setsuna. You've always been so prudent one way or another. Please, send me a text once you've finished your schedule. Though it's less than 3 days until the exams come, so you don't have to force yourself that much either. However, if you can't make it today or tomorrow, I hope you can make some time for me after the exams are over. It's been a whole month since I last saw you. I guess that makes me feel a little lonely. Well then, good luck on your exams. After I press the send button, I slump on the bed as if I were instantly depleted of energy. The splinters have yet to fall out. My chest is still heavy with worries. It's 11:30 p.m. on Friday. I'll text you after properly organizing my schedule. Setsuna is supposed to have contacted me by now, but I've not received her next text. It's been almost 2 weeks since I proposed that we should talk face to face. During that period, we were unable to make time for the two of us to meet up. Regardless of how many times we rearranged it, we'd still miss it in the end. I'd gather my determination to tell her everything, to give her an answer, a decision that's as heavy as it is cruel. But I've been indecisive for more than 10 days, and the resolve that I've desperately tried to hold on to ended up dwindling heavily. Could it be that? Nah, I don't think I should consider it merely a possibility. Setsuna is trying to avoid me, isn't she? If that's really the case, it was inevitable due to a variety of reasons. Her breakdown on Christmas Eve, the excessively long cold period that ensued after that, me taking days to reply to Setsuna's texts. I wouldn't be surprised if she's exhausted her patience. It would be odd if she didn't come to resent me for all I've done. That's why I've been rejected by Setsuna. Even something as simple as asking for us to meet up again and talk isn't something that can be granted anymore. I'd be convinced of that possibility If it weren't for the fact that I'm still receiving text from her daily, though. Next week, finals will start. Then, the 1 month period for which I've been unable to meet up with Setsuna grows even longer. We're keeping up with this unresolved, half-dead state, where neither of us is completely advancing, retreating, or reaching any other conclusion. I can't let that happen. Not advancing forward because of the other's attitude is ultimately no different from running away. The one issue I've had were the series of time lags through our texting times. Perhaps I should call her directly, or perhaps I should just approach her face to face. It would prevent Setsuna from running away. It would prevent Setsuna from running away, and stop myself from running away as well. That's why I...
Kitahara, is something wrong?
Mari-san, I'm really the worst of the worst.
I'm still at the office. No, it's fine. I'm alone right now.
I see. That's good to hear.
What's the matter? Letting out such a gloomy tone? Is the fact that you can't see me until the exams are over too hard to bear? I'm just kidding. I'll spare you these dull jokes. I wouldn't want you to laugh at my taste again. Eh?
It's a little difficult, I guess.
What?
Mari-san, when is your next day off?
Kitahara? Do you know just how much it shakes me whenever you blurt out things without thinking it through like that?
Perhaps tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. Don't you have a day off?
Listen when someone is talking to you. If you're going to be messing with me like this, don't expect me to pick up your calls again.
I want to see you.
Enough! Stop! Just stop! You're going to affect my work by saying things like that.
I'm sorry. Really, I'm just the worst. I'm throwing all my bottled up, half-baked emotions of confusion and uncertainty at the person who's the most convenient. And this is despite the fact that I know that she considers all this very troublesome to her.
Hey, Kitahara, your final exams are Monday, aren't they? That's why you're not working part-time, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Then if that's the case, if you want us to meet up alone, that can wait until your exams are over.
I guess you're right. That was what I had intended to do as well. It's so difficult to keep it all in, though.
You can't hold on anymore? You really want to, you know.
Mari-san, I am absolutely deplorable, cowardly, and devious. Though I'm also truly, lustfully calculating. I'm taking advantage of her kindness and her sisterly demeanor, confidently fabricating my miserable state.
But that...
Will you look at that? She's already become this confused. That's just the kind of person Mari-san is.
I've already made myself clear, you know? Even if I'm in a relationship, my work takes priority.
Yes, you've said that.
What I'm saying is that I hope you're placing your studies as a university student as your top priority.
Right.
And you're even dependent on your parents at the moment, so you have to.
I'll definitely ace the first exam. You even if I get to meet up with you, Mari-san, I promise that I'm not going to let my grades slip.
A promise like that?
I'll show you my results when they're out. If I don't keep my promise, I won't see you for a while.
Kitahara, you really want to see me that much right now?
Yes, I really want to.
Is that right?
I understand. While I can't make it tomorrow, I'll think of something for Sunday.
Madri-san, well, will you look at that?
But you have to really study well for your exams, okay? You know the consequences if you flunk even a single subject.
I'll study while I wait for you in your apartment. Mari-san's truly a wonderful person deep down. It's impossible that she'd bring herself to tear off my unreasonable feelings drenched in darkness.
Oh, and don't force yourself with the chores, alright? Don't forget, you're in the middle of an exam period, okay?
It's alright if I work within my capabilities, right?
Don't overdo it, okay? I'll grow to rely on you more and more.
I'll be mindful of that. That's why you're really hopeless, Mari-san. It's hard for me not to want to rely on you too.
Well, we'll meet on Sunday. I'll probably get home before midnight, and I'll give you a call after I finish work. See ya.
Really, that guy?
He's not being considerate about my deadlines at all.
And he knows the trouble I'd be in if I can't finish this within the week. Well, it seems like I won't have any time for sleep until Sunday. I guess I should head home, take a shower, and get a change of clothes, and hurry back here. What a pain to think that I ended up raising such an ape.
January 30th, Sunday.
I'm really sorry. I'm walking home from my friend's house right now. In the end, I ended up sticking with my friends for the whole Saturday. Do you know Yumi? Fukagawa Yumi from the Public Policy Department? The four of us gathered at her place, and after distributing our copied notes, we ended up studying for a bit too. Though, I suppose trying to study immediately after copying our notes wasn't really productive as I expected. As I expected, we ended up going through a cycle of studying for 1 hour and chatting for 2 hours afterward. We even enjoyed a borrowed movie in the middle of all that. Well, we did have a lot of fun. It was the only thing we got out of it. I wonder if we're ready for our exams after studying like that. I'm sorry. And so, it's already become Sunday. In the end, I don't seem to have a plan for my exams tomorrow. I just can't go out today. I'm really sorry for constantly rescheduling like this. However, I'll definitely make some time after the exams are over. After all, it's going to be spring break after them, right? That's why, for now, we should focus on the exams that we're about to face. Could we do that? And I know I'm going to sound a bit brazen, but I have a request, if you don't mind. I know it's impossible for us to meet up in the middle of exams, but can we continue texting each other like this? I won't send you multiple texts a day. I just want to relax and liven things up a little. Good luck tomorrow. Bye!
In the end, not a single sentence from Setsuna's text mentioned anything outside of my expectations. I'd already expected that we wouldn't be able to meet each other on this weekend, after all, and that's because of where I'm currently am right now. Whoops. As the broth begins to boil, I turn down the gas and put the lid back on after tasting it. It's been over 30 minutes since I got a call from her saying she'll be home soon. I'll add in the fish and vegetables right after she gets home and finish the preparations for dinner while she changes. Also, we can spend the short time we have together and see each other for as long as possible. Ree, I'm really sorry. I understand you have a lot going on. Let's work hard on our exams. See ya. My finger inches towards the send button after I finish typing merely 3 lines, but pauses before I can press it. I've written this text a little too callously. Had I sent such a callous text, who knows how much courage Setsuna would have to build up before replying with her next text. I've always been chasing after her since that day. So, when was it that I returned to running away again? We've yet to come up with any conclusion, dragging things out as they are. Oh, and you can text me anytime, except for when I'm in the middle of exams, bathing, or before I go to sleep. To me, your texts are a source of strength. That's why I'll wait for you. After adding some more lines to my text after thinking it through again, I'm now taken aback about just how unpleasantly I've written them. I'm continuing my futile conversation with her with no light at the end of the tunnel, even as I'm staying over at the apartment of another woman. My lies towards Setsuna pile up at an alarming rate with each passing day. We need to come up with a conclusion, but that's easier said than done. It's unclear whether this is because someone willed for things to turn out this way, or it's just the simple fact that we keep missing the right opportunity to meet one another. That's why I'm also getting more and more vulnerable to another woman.
I'm back.
Welcome back. As I open the door, Mari-san wraps her arms around me without even thinking of taking her shoes off first. For a moment, a mildly irritating smell wafts into my nose.
Sorry I'm back late. I thought I could be back here before midnight, but it seems I got caught up by the chief editor at the last minute.
Mari-san, you've been drinking? It's not just the smell. The plastic bag wrapped around the bottle of wine with an unsealed cap that she brought back from a convenience store also supports my presumption.
I brought it back for the both of us to share. But I couldn't help myself when I was on the way home.
At any rate, your shoes. Look, I'll take them off for you, okay?
Yeah. Hey, that tickles.
Ignoring Mari-san's rather unnaturally cheerful attitude, I go out of my way to embrace the lower half of her body and remove her shoes. It's getting quite chilly outside. The cold soles of her feet confirm that.
I'm so tired. So cold. So sleepy. I thought I was going to freeze to death on the way home.
Good work today. Here, rest for a little while. I'll go prepare dinner in the meantime. I bring Mari-san further into her apartment and have her sit on the bed. I slowly let out a sigh as Mari-san gives no resistance, which only serves to make my efforts more difficult due to how sluggish her movements are. It's true that she drank wine straight from the bottle on her way home, but the way she's making one careless action after another really makes me feel that there's a big difference between the woman I'm seeing right now and the woman I spoke to on the phone yesterday. The hot pot's ready, but are you okay with cod?
Even though I told you to do as little housework as possible so you can study, You damned full-time house husband, you.
It's easy to prepare a hot pot, you know. You just cut the ingredients to an appropriate size and let them simmer.
Is that so?
In order to understand at least that much, maybe it'd be good for you to do some housework, Mari-san. If you had an electric cooker, then we could have eaten it at the table while it's still cooking. But I looked around and couldn't find one. Well, I'll bring it over once it's done. Oh, are you okay with Shunjiko leaves? I'm going to put those in, okay? Along with the shirataki noodles? It looks like Mari-san has given up on giving me any trouble. Whether she's changing or if she's already fallen asleep, I can't hear her behind me anymore. I turn on the gas again, bringing the dashi stock that had been simmering up until just a short moment ago back to a boil. Inside the boiling pot, I put in cod, shirataki mushrooms, tofu, napa cabbage, one ingredient after the other. The vegetables in the strainer are dropped into the pot one by one as the steam escaping from the rice cooker grows stronger.
Kitahara.
A noise suddenly interrupts the calm atmosphere and shatters the perfect balance of the situation. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Well, Mari seems a bit excited to see Kitahara after the break they had apart while Kitahara was studying. And she has been drinking. This can either go really well or end up in a disaster. Given this VN's track record for things turning out bittersweet, I have the feeling it's going to be the latter.